All right, hello everybody. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and today I wanted to talk to us about know your worth. How to know your worth. For real, let's break this down. I'm a psychologist in my day job. I'm at my office. That's the cover of one of my books. Oh, I'll give it, right? I'm not selling it because it's like out of print now. It's been so long. Unbreakable Bonds. Practicing the art of loving and being loved. So I talk a lot in that book about knowing your worth. And I wrote that 20 years ago. So I've taught a lot of people in here and, work on it in my own life. So let's understand why we don't know our worth. I'm going to make this pretty brief. It's not going to be this long extended video, even though I would like to talk about it for a whole hour. I'm used to doing hour sessions. So if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a lot of hour-long videos that you can watch that will go into this in more depth, right? But this is going to be enough, right? So today what came to my mind when I was working with people was this idea of like twins or triplets, quadruplets, right? You can understand, like, if a mom feels overwhelmed because she has two babies at once and she's never had babies before. She doesn't, it's not like her fourth time around. These are like her first set of babies. I saw on YouTube the other day, I don't know how I got on this algorithm, they showed this lady that had 44 children and she doesn't have a husband anymore. I think, yeah, she just kept having quadruplets. And anyway, we're not going into that, right? But let's just say, okay, when you have this overwhelmed mom and let's say an absent father, or the dad's working all the time or drinking all the time, or even trying to be present, but didn't feel a lot of presence in his own life, so doesn't know how to actually be hands-on present, and she feels overwhelmed and is sleep deprived because she's trying to nurse both kids, or if there's triplets, then it can be even more, Now, we're not trying to solve her problem right here, because I'm just like, okay, what she ought to do is get some neighbor kids to help her out so she gets some rest, blah, 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 whatever. Like, I can look back at it now because I'm a mom as well. But the message, you can understand the message to the kids in this scenario that we're making up, where we understand where she's coming from and we understand what's going with the kids, what's going on with them, is they get this message that you are not worth my attention, my affection, my quiet, stable presence, mature presence. You're worth my frantic, primal, freaking out self. Like, I can just imagine, like, and I'm not saying all mothers of twins are like this. I know a lot of them that have like a just sense of humor, because it's like, yeah, I had two of them, try that, because for mine were 2 years old and a baby, a newborn. So it's like, if I'm nursing my baby, and my 2-year-old's like just figuring out how to run out the door and like wants to run out the door. It's like, wait, how do I do this? How do I negotiate running after that kid? And so understand that the message that the kids can get from the parent is that you are not worth my presence. You are worth abandonment. You are worth not being alert, not being aware, not being attentive to your needs, because I'm just trying to get by and get my needs taken care of and get the bare minimum or whatever. I made the mistake last night of, let me do my confessions, and I haven't been watching YouTube for a long time. I was taking a break and I went back and I was watching this news show. It turned out to be like a horror movie, of all of these, about kids that were like maltreated and malnourished and all of these horrible things. And it's just like, but I kept wanting to see the next one. You know how that can happen. And it's just like, nope, I don't watch the news for exactly this reason. I'm way just too sensitive, and I just want to be present with the people that show up, you know, in this capacity. Find me here. I don't need to add more. It's just like I can't watch reality shows as a psychologist. That's like more drama. I'd rather work with the people here that want to work on it. But I want you to know about your worth and how, you know, you can tell one of these triplets, hey, you're worth loving, you're worth being present with, you're worth your own calm presence, you're worth giving yourself a, let me write it down, a knowledgeable, I love this. So I heard this in a Zoom meeting the other day. I was learning about life coaching, even though I've been a psychologist for 20 plus years. Anyway, I don't need to go into why I was studying that, but I was listening to Latoya, and she had a guest, Latoya Oki. I really love her. Knowledgeable, and I think his name was Tyson. I didn't get his last name because I had to leave at the end. Knowledgeable response, you know, with wisdom and insight. I'm just adding stuff. Wisdom, insight, maturity, versus your default reaction. And I talk about this a little bit in a video that I just made called, it says sober on the front, but I don't know what I'm going to title that yet, but it's about like living your true best life or something, or I don't know, but it'll say sober in it, SOBER. It stands for becoming really deeply aware. Okay, and so you want to be able to have a knowledgeable response with wisdom, insight, maturity, and I'll add compassion, you know, kindness, discipline, not in a bad way, in a good way, and care. Okay, all of this, if you can read that, versus my default reaction, the reaction that I learned how to make. Now you understand the internalized, we get an internalized message from our parents. And I always go back to, you know, Christ teaches us always how to have highest consciousness, because he lived at this high consciousness level, whatever else you understand about him. And he is like being crucified for real and saying, forgive them, they know not what they're doing. And so there's two parts in that. It's yes, forgive them. That means what they're doing. We're not saying excuse them, they know what they're doing. It means ask divine love to come in and give grace to these people, undeserved mercy, let's say, and understanding, because they don't know what they're doing. They're in ignorance. Like the mom is not purposefully trying to neglect her twins or her triplets, you know. We're not picking on the parents here. We're just understanding. You could understand that we internalize that message of, you know, if I'm crying and I'm a baby, it doesn't matter if I have a twin sister or twin brother. I'm just experiencing my mom's not picking me up, right? And so I have to learn to self-soothe, or the mom just gives me something else. Like, let's say she put an iPad in front of me since I was 1, you know. Now these days, kids learn how to self-regulate with their phones and with iPads, you know. And so it's just like, you see, if you take it away from them, like, ah, you know, they go crazy because they haven't learned, you know, they haven't, like, when you're just held and rocked to sleep, and, you know, then you feel safe and you feel secure and you internalize. That's a more accurate expression of your true worth. So knowing your worth, I'm going to write here, know your true worth, right? And how you can know that is just this simple tool, right? Know your true worth, right? Not the worth you learned. I have this learned default reaction worth that I learned from the actions of my parents. Now here's the trick. It's not a trick, but like this tool, understand. If there was a baby in a dumpster out there, there's a dumpster, and I was walking out to my car and I heard the baby, you know, do I go, oh, that baby's not worth caring for because I don't know if they're going to go to Harvard? You know, it's like, no, that baby has innate worth. And I would hear, you know, of course, I'd like hold that baby and be like, can I keep this baby? Like, I don't know why I've been like loving babies lately. But if I just, thought about it and decided not to, well, I mean, of course, I can go to the fire department here. That's how they do it in the US. And they have no questions asked, but I would just tell them I found this baby and you can check it's not my DNA. Like, but, and they'll make sure that that baby is placed. And I would want to make sure that baby is placed in a loving home and, to the best of my ability. And we do that because we know that baby has innate worth. Now, if that baby was put in a home and neglected, like those horrible things that I never recommend people watching that I saw last night, neglected for like a whole year or 4 years of their life, what they learn by the people's actions, remember, actions speak louder than words. Their actions say, you're not worth protecting, you're not worth nurturing, you're not worth me being calm with, you're not worth me knowing my own true worth, to keep being consistently present. And we don't have to be perfect. None of us can be perfect. We're not perfect here, right? Even when Jesus said, be perfect. Oh, that was 11:11, right? When I said that, none of us can be perfect. 11:11 is like, I look at it like open doors to divine love. Like you're learning how to connect with divine love. And so even when Jesus said, be perfect as I am perfect, the word is whole, be whole. Join me in this telos. Oh, good. I'm wearing my necklace. Telos, towards perfect love. Have perfect love be your goal, and you keep knowing when you get in deep presence. And I practice this a lot in my videos. Just learning how to be right here in this moment. Take a deep breath. And know yourself beyond your gender, beyond your skin color, beyond your name, beyond your age. Know yourself, feel yourself in your body, and know yourself as like, what does our heart respond to? Oh, I have my music note with a heart on it. It's like when we hear the baby, we just respond with an open heart and want to protect, right? Just like the mom wanted to protect the kids, let's say. But, when you're feeling overwhelmed, you go into survival mode, which is fight, flight, or freeze, or try to please. And so it's just trying to get by. And so the kids get this energy, the babies get this energy of just trying to get by. And so what do? Is they often will go run to addictions as they turn into adolescents or adults, because they just learned you're not worth real, quiet, loving, nurturing, kind, wise, insightful, conscious presence. You're just worth trying to get by. And so they go run to addictions. And then, they keep experiencing the abandonment. I felt so bad for it. I'm adding conscious. They keep experiencing, they go to this default reaction that they learned in childhood that their mom and their father mirrored to them. And then they keep feeling heartache because they're building their house on a sinking sand. It's like Jesus said that, and he's talking about higher consciousness. Dig deep, get to these real places of real, true love, of deep love, deep, real, true value, and build your house upon a rock, not upon the sand. Because when you build your house on sand, like trying to get high, just get by, then when the rain comes, your house falls apart, and people just walk out on you because there was no foundation in those relationships, and you're worth more. You're worth more. All right. I could say so much more, but I'm going to leave it at that for now. You're worth more. You're worth, like this couple right there. They're just loving, tenderness. He's just like so kind. You're worth that. And I'm talking all about that. I have over 600 videos on my YouTube. So don't say I can't afford a psychologist. I mean, you can say that if you want, but that's why I put these up here, so that people won't have excuses, because I want you to know your worth and know that you're loved, no matter what faith practice or not faith practice or any of that you are that baby to me. And I want to give this love to you. So share this and all that stuff and subscribe. I wish you so much love. Thanks for spending your time with me. I honor that. I honor you.